so many goals that aren't even that big, just like this picture of my life where I am a doer and I am present and I have interesting things to say and have my own passions and opinions and drives. And it's possible, like the last month or so has really confirmed that for me, and I feel like you know it too, and that's probably why you're here. Which, by the way, hi, my love, it is great to have you back. And if this is your first time here, it's lovely having you here. If you end up getting anything out of this video, I would love for you to stick around and see what else you might like. And if you're really feeling it and you want to see some bonus videos, or you just want to support the channel a little bit extra, you can check out my Patreon, which is always linked below. This video, I hesitated to make this video because I don't want to just add to the millions of videos just like this one that I have personally watched over and over again that have made a difference for maybe a day or two, or that I've just like clicked off to watch another one saying the exact same thing. And I'm not saying that these videos aren't helpful or important or impactful, because they absolutely are. And if you haven't considered the cost of where you spend your attention and the corporations profiting off that, then I will have some of my favorite videos about that linked below. I know that it's bad. I have heard it all. I have wanted to change over and over again, and it just hasn't stuck. And the more it doesn't stick, the less likely it feels like it'll ever stick, because if I failed a million times before, trying a million different things, a million different ways, with a million different motivations, then what would make this time any different? But I think that all of that trial and error has actually helped me find the sweet spot, like the perfect combination of elements that made it finally click for me to stop wasting my life away and start spending the little bit of spare time that I do have on things that matter to me. So, I mean, the main thing I would say is that if you want to cut your screen time, just like make that the only thing. Make that the only thing that you are focusing on right now for now. And what I mean by that is you might want to cut your screen time so that you have time to like build a business or start going to the gym or meet new people. I would like you to forget about all of that. Just for now, all you need to think about for now is that you want to cut your screen time. I've made the mistake in the past of trying to replace screen time directly with whatever goal I was pursuing, or like some new 15-step routine of journaling and meditating and mindfulness and yoga. Look, in the back of your mind, you know what you want. Like, you at least have an idea of like the image of the person that you want to be, and that can exist in your subconscious, and you'll start to find your way to that once you've made room. For now, I just want you to think about making room. So what does that look like? I would start with a simple, non-negotiable and manageable rule. So for me, up until I was out of school, I was only allowed to watch telly from after school on a Friday to dinner time on a Sunday. After dinner, no more telly. So I have just like readopted that, but for social media, and actually less than that. So I just have from Friday after dinner to midnight on Saturday is my window for like mindless consumption. I still allow myself a window because that just makes it manageable for me. That's the manageable part of the rule. And I've kept the parameters simple, not variable or conditional, like, oh, but if I've done this, then I can watch blah, 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 or, you know, just kept it simple. This or that. And the main thing is that it's non-negotiable. Oh my God. Why is that so hard to say? And the main thing is that it's non-negotiable. It doesn't matter if I am sick in bed, I can find something else to do. It doesn't matter if I need to research something on YouTube, I'll have to find another way. One of the hobbies that I've actually picked up in my newfound free time is starting dancing again, which is very fun, very exciting. That's all you need to know about it for now. I'm not doing great, but I had some instructional YouTube videos saved that I then couldn't watch outside of my designated screen time window. So I had to wait until the weekend to download the videos onto like my hard drive, have them saved on my computer for the future, which was a faff, but it was doable. Like, it wasn't that big a deal, and it stopped me sending the message to myself that any amount of screen time outside of the screen time window is okay. And you might be like, oh, but what about don't do it. Every time that I've ever fallen off track with any habit, it's because I've tried to negotiate with myself and things just slip from there. Can you hear my cat crunching on his biscuits? Now, this is where I have to admit, and you might have got a hint of it so far, I don't actually have an issue with Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, social media in general. I actually hate being on my phone. So a lot of these videos aren't even like catered towards me, like the rules they set and stuff has never really helped me. Like, I have 90% of my notifications turned off anyway. But yeah, I'm just like never on my phone. My issue is actually YouTube on my laptop in bed. That is like my happy place. That is where all of my free time goes to die. I was watching on average, I think 28 hours of YouTube videos a week, which is about 4 hours a day. When you consider that at the time I was getting maybe 15 to 20 hours of childcare a week, sleeping maybe 7 hours a day if I was lucky. Basically every spare waking moment when I wasn't with my daughter or working was spent in bed on my laptop. And I know for a lot of people it is phones that are the issue, but the sentiment that I'm trying to get across is the same. You don't need it. Whatever it is, you might be slightly inconvenienced trying to find other ways to entertain yourself or do research or stay in touch with people, but there are other ways and you can find them. And I feel like I have to be really clear here because I know what comments are like. I'm not saying you can never use your phone for anything again, like if you need it for maps and stuff, or like, as I said, set a rule. Maybe you do need to go on Instagram at whatever time every single day to do some work. Like, your rule will be your rule, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, the like mindless scrolling, mindless consumption. It could even be like games that you play or something similar, something where you are just losing time, getting sucked into a void, and 5 minutes turns into 2 hours. Like, you know what habits I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like screens specifically. Okay, which is why like I can't watch my dancing videos on YouTube directly. I can't go to youtube.com and find my dancing videos and dance along, because then I might like click on something in the side bit and watch something else, and so on and so on. But I can download the video and have it on my laptop and just watch it as a video file, and there's nothing else around it unless it's like a video of my cat that I've saved. So no doom scrolling, no algorithms, no like spirals. Also, I know that people have been missing baby T recently, so here he is. He's still around. He just likes to nap while I'm filming, because I film when baby isn't here and it's a peaceful time for both of us. And like, speaking of finding other ways to do the things, I think it helps, I think it helps to think beforehand about what setbacks you might run into or where you might end up making excuses. Like, if you're anything like me, you might have tried to cut your screen time a lot of times before, so you might actually have a lot of practice in finding reasons to let it creep back in. So look back on those past attempts and think about what you can do differently. This time, for me, I know that I always start my day thinking I have so much to do today. Once I've dropped baby off at nursery, I'm not messing about. Like, no scrolling, no messing around. I need to get straight to work. And then if it's anything like today, we would have a hectic morning, rushing around despite getting up at like 5, and there would be tantrums galore, and I would be completely overwhelmed and overstimulated. And then as soon as I got home from dropping her off, I would just immediately crawl into bed with my laptop and start watching YouTube videos just to like bring my anxiety back down. I would tell myself that I would just watch things for an hour and then I would settle back in at home, and then I would get to work. And then at some point I'd say, well, I might as well wait until after lunch. And then all of a sudden the whole day has gone by and I would have to quickly rush through my work at the last minute, not get it all done, not have time for anything else, and my 15 hours of child-free time a week would feel completely wasted. I would collect my kid, we would play, we would have fun for the rest of the day, and then when she went to bed, because I felt so frustrated with how behind I was with everything else in my life, I would just spend the rest of my night distracting myself online once again. So to break that cycle, I had to find a realistic alternative for those moments that I knew would come. So yes, I still actually crawl back into bed as soon as I've got home from the school run most days, including today. I need a little decompress, and my bed is just my favourite place to be in the world. But YouTube is blocked on my laptop and it's blocked on my phone as well. I have books to hand in my bedside table. I have a journal there if I want something to do. Audiobooks if I wanted to be able to just like lie down and take something in without having to think too much. But there's no algorithm with books that will keep me hooked for longer than I want to be. After an hour or less, I've had a little time to myself and I'm ready to get on with my day. More recently, I don't know if it's like my dopamine coming back down to a normal level since like cutting screens out so much, but I have found myself, surprisingly, getting home, getting into bed, grabbing my laptop, trying to go on YouTube still sometimes, but it's very, very blocked. Tried plugins, but they don't really work. I am using Freedom. Plugins for me don't work because I'll just find a way around them. Freedom, this isn't sponsored, but it feels a lot more difficult to wiggle around. I'm sure I could find a way, but I'm not going to look for a way because I think once I find the way, I'll end up doing it, at least for now. But I go on my laptop, maybe attempt to open YouTube, and then when that doesn't work, I will just like start doing work. Like, it's kind of crazy that that wasn't something that I did before. But yeah, I just get home and start work immediately, despite feeling like overwhelmed or stressed or tired. And like once I get into a flow, eventually I get to a part of my work that I can't do in bed and I move over to my desk. But I've already got that momentum going for getting on with the rest of my day. And that's just like one of my triggers. Like yours might be different as well. It might be that at lunch, at school, or at work at lunchtime, like waiting for a friend to join you, you feel awkward on your own. Or maybe you have tried cutting screen time before, but you get to the evening and you're exhausted and you like planned on using your newfound free time to learn how to crochet, but the thought of using your brain at all in that moment is just asking way too much. So you default back to scrolling. So just take a look at that cycle. How do you, or have you previously fallen back into that time or energy wasting habit? And what could you realistically expect from yourself as an alternative in that moment? How will you make falling into that habit difficult enough to disrupt the autopilot of getting into it? And I do mean realistically, like you might want to be someone that wants to read, but if you're not actually that person, then you'll eventually start making excuses not to do it. And also have like a few options for each of those scenarios where you've caved in the past. So for me, if reading isn't it in the moment, then I can do a Sudoku on my phone or a crossword or any other puzzle on the New York Times app. If I do want to scroll, like I have a scrolling urge, I just scroll through my spam emails and delete and block and unsubscribe. It's a mindless task, but it's a task with an end. You can find tasks that have a clear end that don't like suck you into losing time and zapping any motivation that you had to do anything else. And over time, as I'm starting to discover, you will come out of this fog where you're instantly looking for distraction and you'll have this newfound capacity to challenge yourself, put more effort into things. Like I said, I just dive into work a lot of the time now. I'm not as much of a procrastinator, which is huge. The most surprising to me is that I've started working into the evening, into the night now when baby is in bed. I get her down, I clean up, and where I usually and justifiably would have like switched off for the rest of the evening, I have this desire now to do things and not always work. I have to stress that I'm not like in my hustle, grind set, girl boss era. I might just read, or sometimes I draw or write. I'm actually practicing my handwriting here and there, like a new, very whimsical, like squiggly wiggly style. I've just started watching I don't know, show on Apple TV. I've only watched one episode, but I'm really into it. It's nice to watch something proper as well. Like, no shade to YouTube. I do love a video essay, but it's nice to watch like some TV, like some good TV. I'm just saying there are ways to unwind that aren't algorithm based, that aren't sucking you in and taking all of your time and your attention and your emotions and sometimes your money as well. I read Digital Minimalism recently. It was okay, it was good. It made some good points, and one of the points that it made was about like crafting and making and physical pursuits. I actually think those were two separate points, but basically doing something with your hands, getting moving. So on the weekends, I've been loving getting stuck into decorating my daughter's room. Finally, it's something that's been on my list since I think the beginning of the year. So yeah, being able to use like those little chunks of time here and there that would normally go down a screen-shaped drain is so, like, why would I want to do anything else? I spent one chunk of time in there, like with my drill, my sandpaper, upcycling a table, hanging a blind, taking down some shelves, like tinkering and problem solving and like honestly making it up as I went along. And then a week later, I had a good few hours free and I painted the room from top to bottom, which was hard work. These weak wrists, hate to see a paint roller coming, but compared with the alternative of spending any and all of my downtime on YouTube, watching videos that I've seen before or have no real interest in, basically, I know what version of my day ends with me going to bed feeling good, maybe achy, but good. So while I don't think you should set lofty goals for what you'll do in your downtime, I think it's fun to think about what you would do if you had more time, not with the intention to start it now, but just so that when you get there, when you get to that point where things feel more open and you're more motivated and even excited, you always have an idea of what you can do. So just to clarify, that is different from your alternative to screens list or menu. Like, that is a list of things that give you the same feeling of downtime that you know you can easily choose over and over again. What I'm talking about now is like, I guess, making it exciting, like seeing the version of yourself at the other end, at the other side of this, that's like moved abroad and is fluent in a different language, or has learned to play guitar and is performing with a band. Like having a clearer picture of who that person is going to be, I think it helps. And it doesn't have to be big stuff either. I've written a list of all the little things, anything that comes to my head. I keep a running list of like, someday I'd love to, like, I want to learn to juggle and I want to figure out how to roll my R's. Like, seriously, if anyone can help with that, please let me know. It cannot be that difficult. But having those other options for me has got me to a point that on the weekend, when I do have access to social media, I'm so much more discerning with my time. Like, everything I choose to watch, I'm thinking, I could be doing X, Y, Z right now. And it's kind of like how Alan Carr tells you to keep smoking while you read his Stop Smoking book, and Chris Van Telken says basically the same thing in his ultra processed food book, like to keep eating ultra processed food as you learn how bad it is. You get this like new awareness of how you feel, or how the habit actually makes you feel, like in the moment and afterwards. And you realize that it's just not worth it. So start by only focusing on cutting your screen time, not the big goals that you want to achieve with your free time. Set a clear, non-negotiable rule and plan for what you'll do in like any setbacks or moments where you start trying to bargain with yourself. Make a list of easy alternative activities, things that are low effort and that are things that you'll actually want to do. Make screen time more difficult with apps or blockers. I definitely recommend Freedom. I don't know if I mentioned, but this is not sponsored. Letting your charger live in another room, having a black and white screen, all of the things. Also have a list ready of all the fun, exciting things, big or small, that you would like to get around to once your capacity to motivate yourself goes back up. And most importantly, start now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Don't click on another video, download whatever blocker you're going to use and start writing your list of screen alternatives right now. And that is where I will leave you for today. Please let me know that I am not alone in this cycle, and let me know one thing that you would love to do with your time once you've reclaimed some of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one.